Hey man, we got Soul Traveler in the building, man. What's going on, man?
What's up, bro? How you doing, man? How you doing? This, when something stirs up around a bird's nest, just things like this happen, man. And I'm glad to touch bases with you, brother.
Yep, man. Hey man, let me give you a round of applause, brother, man.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
But also, let me start licking some shots. And let's bring a couple people to the firing squad, man. What's going on out here, man? I'm a descendant.
A descendant, huh?
I'm a descendant. Come on, man. Y'all niggas did it now, man. I'm gonna bust a couple shots, man. I know a couple of you guys are going to be crying. It's like, why do you want to take our reparations? Hey, Bufutu, John Baptiste, why do you want a piece of our pie too? Oh, why? We're descendants. We are descendants of slaves. We are slaves. How dare you say we wasn't slaves? Massa, hey, Massa, they're not me. Hey, man. Hey. Shout out to the ADOS movement, or the ADOS, whatever, DOS, Microsoft DOS. I don't know what you guys are, but shout out to y'all movement. Get your money, black man. Get your money, black man. Hey, bro. Man, come on, man. When you saw this thing, what did you really think, man? Tell us an honest truth, man.
What do I think about the movement, ADOS?
Yeah, man.
I really think it's a declaration, right? Because it's a self-identification marker, right? Because once they were African Americans, and now I think they dropped the African and picked up the descendants of slaves. So they want to identify as Americans, American descendant of slaves. This is their new.
Hold up.
Mm-hmm.
About a week ago.
Just about a week ago.
If somebody says, hey, you know what? We should embrace our lineage. We should embrace our heritage. What would they be considered?
I'm a guess. You mind if I take a guess at it?
Go ahead.
I think they'd be identified as a super coon. A super coon.
Hey man, no, come on, man. Like this, you can't be serious, bro. You cannot be serious. When I saw this, an American descendant of a slave. Did they just got in position and just bent over and say, Massa, go ahead and do what you do to me? Is that what they did?
You know what? The truth is, we're still sleeping. This is only a dream. I mean, I wish it wasn't a laughing matter, but because it isn't a laughing matter. It's very serious because this says stuff, because you do as the body goes, as the mind thinks, So if in their minds they are no longer Africans, I'm very curious now what's going on in their mind, because they are no longer identifying as African.
But if you talk to somebody, you know what? First of all, I
ain't going back and forth with these niggas.
People in the chat room no more. But they would tell you
are fake news.
If you said this wasn't, a surrender, are they just waving the white flag for some reparations or something, man? Is that what is that? Because I want to understand. Because my wife is Afro-American. I want some of these reparations too. I can't have none. I mean, I want.
Nah. You can't get none. Nigga, get your hands out of my pocket, nigga. No, they not for you. They not for you. As a matter of fact, get out of our community.
Yeah. So Let's look. I mean, we've been bamboozled, man. A lot of people have been bamboozled. I thought the movement, because I did some research on the movement, and I thought it was Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks, two people that are the face or the inventors or the leaders of this movement. One of them is a hybrid lesbian, which about a week ago, she made an article and said that black men were the white people of the black people. I'm just shout out to her, man. Get that money, black woman, get that money. And the other guy is he worked for the DA in California. One of the worst criminal justice systems in the country. And these are the two people that started this hashtag. I was like, that can't be so. But I did some research.
You sure you didn't make that up, brother?
No, I didn't make that up.
You are fake news.
I mean, you sure, no direct descendants of African didn't start up the ADOS movement? You sure a lesbian woman and a former DA started the movement?
Yes. But it's funny how the internet works, man. With social media and the internet, when you post something, shit never dies. You know what I'm saying? It's always there. In 2015, I'm going to play the video for you.
Okay.
I'm going to play a little clip from Ann Coulter. Because it was funny, because she was sitting down there doing an interview with what's his face? Ben Shapiro. He's like a master at white supremacist talking points, and she is the white supremacist talking point. She's a white supremacist walking talking point,
Right.
And they were discussing things, and they said some very interesting. Take a listen, brother. I don't know if you can listen on the other end, but I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip real quick. You know what I'm saying?
To bring in voters who will vote, 8-2 for the Democrats, we're bringing in extremely primitive cultures, and this is most of what my book covers. In order to make it short and very readable, it's 100 pages of footnotes. It's way shorter than it looks. You got to read it.
She said the Democrats were bringing in very primitive cultures.
Okay, I didn't get a chance to hear any of that.
Okay, she basically said that Democrats are bringing in very primitive cultures. Listen to the language. Primitive,
huh?
Cultures. You know? And then she said this. Let me play this.
All the result of Teddy Kennedy's 1965 Immigration Act. Without the 1965 Immigration Act, the post-1970 immigrants, very different from the pre-1970 immigrants. The post-1970 immigrants are what got Obama elected in the first place. He could not have been elected without the post-1970 immigrants who have been voting 8-2 for the Democrats.
She expounds on that. She says in 1965 there was some type of voting act or something like that, and she was talking about it was an immigration act, and right after 1965 she said voting and the immigration policy was a lot different. She hadn't came out and said it yet. She was talking about a lot of black immigrants coming, and that basically changed the voting dynamic. She hasn't said anything yet about which countries are they talking, but we kind of know what she's talking about. Let me play a little bit more, and we'll unpack this.
Without the 1965 Immigration Act, Romney would have won a bigger victory against Obama than Reagan did against Carter in 1980. I think probably some of you were as surprised as I was the day. But for 100,000 Somalis now living in Minnesota, who were instructed by the first Muslim congressman, Keith Ellison, you must all vote for Al Franken. No, it's ordinary Americans who are paying the costs, and most of all, I would add here, are African Americans. I mean, has anybody in the media checked with, or as I've recently been instructed to stop saying African Americans, American blacks, because that is what I mean. I'm not talking about a guy whose father is a Kenyan. American blacks. And
I wish you could hear, but just go on to YouTube and you can see the whole interview. But in that piece, she was talking about how basically Al Franken, which was a Minnesota senator, got elected because Keith Ellison told all his Somali, people in Minnesota to vote for Al Franken, and that's how. Basically, they said that the Democrats have been using immigration, in particularly black immigration, to get certain agendas and certain people elected. And then she turned around and said that the black American, the Democrats have basically abandoned the black Americans or descendants of slavery. I think she even used it in that context. But this is rhetoric that was used 3-4 years ago that are being regurgitated again. So who really started this movement?
I would have to give you kudos on that for finding that.
It's a dirty little secret.
That was very secret, huh?
I don't think it's very secret, but Yvette Carnell and them, they're taking full credit for this, but it was a confirmed. You know how Tariq says, shout out to Tariq for getting that work by the Nigerian.
Let me add in a little bit of concerning that with that Nigerian brother. My Nigerian brother, good, excellent job. No matter what anyone says, you expose Tariq for the person he is. So good job to you. Kudos on that as well.
It was hold your own nuts, Tariq.
Hold your own nuts. Hold your own nuts. Hold your own nuts.
I think he got his nuts handed to him. You know what I'm saying? And let's unpack that, man. The whites. I don't want to talk about Ann Coulter. She basically co-opted this movement. I guess she needed, she needed to give her bedbugs some reparations. You know what I'm saying? She loves that black penis, boy. she needed to give, you know what I'm saying? She needed to get her bedbugs some new Gucci loafers or something, though. Get your money, black man.
Well, hey, brother, there's a YouTube channel. I think it's called ADCN. It's like African Biological Center Network or something like that. But the avatar is like a red background with a black lion face. Well, with the brother, he dropped a video yesterday, and the brother said that what Yvette Carnell is doing is vying for a job in a presidential campaign. So
Okay.
it's strange how what you just said in the video that I watched the other day, man, it's, you know, but hey, we'll see how this all turns out.
Yeah, man. But no, it's just like I don't know how they're going to fill a lot of the holes in this ADOS movement. You know what I'm saying? I can see, like I said in my video before, man. I can see, bro, if they were like, hey, you know what, y'all, you know, Nigerian brothers, y'all Haitian brothers, man, let's go ahead and get this check, and this is what we need. We need to do this to get this check. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got the name Soul Traveler. Have you ever sold your soul before for anything?
No.
We finna sell. Hey, you know what? If I can understand, dog, it's game recognized game, dog. We were like, hey, you know what? We're gonna sell out for a little bit and get this check. You know, just be with us. Just let us go ahead and get this money. I could see that part, but when you know what I'm saying, piss in my water and tell me it's water, I got a problem. I got a problem with that. Like,
that's right.
I got a serious problem with that. You can't do that, bro. Hey, come on, man. I mean, did I just fall off the turnip truck? And a week ago, you were talking about being melanated. Now you're talking about your lineage. That shit don't make no sense, man. That shit don't add up. 2 + 2 does not equal 5. What you think about that, brother?
I think Tyreek's going in changing the name of his movement to Lineage Nation instead of Melanoid Nation. Because
instead of the RPG flag, this nigga had the audacity to put a RPG flag with a damn fist on his live stream.
Brother, I wouldn't be surprised if they had a Confederate flag.
Yeah, man. Just like Kanye West, man. I think Kanye West was a test. You know what I'm saying? If we be able to get one of the biggest Negroes to wear an American Make America Great Again hat, if we were able to get Jim Brown at the table, we were able to get Steve Harvey, some of the biggest Negroes in America, we can get all y'all niggas. I think that's what they were thinking. And it's working too.
You know, just the fact that you just drew this connection of the Make America Great Again hat, and now, because let's be honest, if Ann Coulter, I didn't say Donna Brazile or, you know, no, I didn't say Angela Rye. I said Ann Coulter. If Ann Coulter can have these guys, ADOS, support her and what she's saying, because it has to be true, because she validated it, right? She's white. That's the only proof you need to be correct.
I guess so, man. White mommy. You know, talking about white zaddy, white mommy.
Yeah.
And she went and waved the finger at the nigga on Twitter. Nigga, you need to correct yourself, nigga. She corrected the nigga.
Right after the correction, do you have any more suggestions for us? We did not make this up.
No, we did, dog. Hey, Tariq's minions, dog. Please don't come after me, dog. You can write all the trolling comments that you want. You know what? You can make videos. You know, you can make a crispy pie video about me, or, you know, hey, whatever you want to about me. Just don't flag me. You know what I'm saying? Because I gotta laugh, dog. Because, dog, this motherfucker took the Trump formula, dog. The Trump fucking formula.
You are fake news.
I mean, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Now I'm gonna say, can we think multi-dimensional thinking? I mean, I'm just I can't believe this is going on, bro.
Well, if you could remember last year, not last year, but the last presidential election, Tariq suggested in a nonchalant way that he and some of his people he knew were going to sit on their hands during the presidential election.
Right.
You know, so whenever people don't vote, because as conservative people, they're mainly behind because they're not as progressive as Democrats. Mm-hmm. So they're going to have less votes. So the less Democrats that vote, the better chance of conservatives do have winning. So, you know, that did happen last presidential cycles, election cycles.
So sitting on his hands to kind of starve out the Democrats, and I'm not a Democrat. I'm not even going to. I mean, fuck Hillary Clinton. You know what I'm saying? For what she did to Haiti and stuff. I don't know if most Haitian people position is like fuck the Clintons. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure a lot of people in the Miami, Fort Lauderdale area probably stood on their hands or vote for Trump because of that shit. But what the fuck did that accomplish, man? What the fuck did that accomplish other than you were cool? Some cool movement, what did it accomplish?
Well, because it accomplished a lot. Because when you suggest that people don't vote, guess what? They're not going to go and vote. And the most important elections for people are their local elections. You need to vote on who's going to be your governor, your mayor. You need to vote on your state representative. These things that impact you directly. Not indirectly. These are things that impact you, how much money you get coming to your community. So black people were disenfranchised on expressing their freedom and their right to even do that.
Wow. It's, I don't know, man. But one of the funniest things, man, I had happen to me this week was I made a video. And I don't know if it was just a troll, I don't know, whatever. But the guy said that the ADOS movement is Pan-African movement, too.
Huh? I'm sorry, could you say that again? I don't think I heard you correctly. As a matter of fact, I know I didn't hear you correctly.
You did, dog. Hey, you know, they're going to accuse me of doing the coon laugh. I'm doing the coon laugh. I'm doing the coon laugh. The coon laugh. Right.
But
anyways,
the coon laugh.
Yeah, that's what somebody said.
Tariq.
No. It was somebody in my comments. They said it was also a Pan-African movement too. It was a Pan.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Pan-Africanism, American descendants of slaves. One says American, the other says African. Help me out. Here.
I was confused too. He said I was confused. In the fact that I was confused meant that I was stepping on the movement. And I don't know, I had to do my research. I was like, man, am I wrong? All this time I thought Pan-African meant something else. I don't know. I'm confused. Just like a lot of the characteristics of this movement, I thought was cooning back in the day, you know, but anything else, but now I'm cooning now. So the definitions have changed, you know what I'm saying? I know, you know, I'm Haitian, you know, I was born in America, but maybe is there a different...
Nah, brother, no. You are now an African American.
Okay. I just said, is there a different dialect? You know what I'm saying? Is there a different dialect?
We are living in very strange times these days.
These niggas they're living their heritage. I mean, they want to embrace their lineage. the slave
Well,
master great granddad. They want to embrace him, man. Shout out to y'all. Boy, get your money, black man. This is America, boy. Hey, bro. So, man, what I was saying, man. Let's talk about this debate for a little bit. This guy, this African guy, man. I wish I could find him on IG, man. I would invite him to the show, man. He gave Tariq that work, man. He straight up gave him that work, and I saw Tariq smiling and skinning and grinning. I almost thought, hey, maybe Tariq planted that guy to do a lot, because it seemed like he should have got out of there. He should have got out of there. Maybe he planted that guy in order to kind of save some of his African listeners or something. Because I think that's the only reason, like, Nigerians and shit like that would be fucking with him, just to go see him get that work from the Nigerians. What do you think about that?
I think Tariq's gonna put that Nigerian guy in his Hidden Color 6. Because obviously that Nigerian guy had some information that Tariq was not aware of.
His father was from Nigeria, and Tariq was telling him about his culture.
Right. Exactly. Let's be honest. Black folks got issues worldwide, and let me make this freaking fucking clear. I'm sorry. Can I curse?
Go ahead, man. Curse.
Okay, let me make this shit fucking clear. Black people worldwide are fucking being oppressed. There is not one special group who has a capital on oppression. We got Brazil's black population is 3 times that of America. Police will shoot these black brothers in broad daylight. Broad daylight. Mm-hmm. Not like over here in America where no one's seen it and it's halfway caught on camera. No, in front of everybody. And guess what? Everybody goes to act like this thing is normal. It's okay. I'm sorry. Miss me with all that. Black people are catching hell worldwide. But go ahead, brother. I apologize. Yeah, I just had to get that ran out.
Yeah, man. Hey, but one thing I wanted to ask you as a Haitian brother, maybe I was special. You know, some of these special perks that I missed out on in schools, in college, and all that type of shit, man. Were you able to uncover some of these special perks?
Well, I got an email from Melanoid Nation, which is soon going to be Lineage Nation, that they're selling us special maps. That we got to follow these maps and find out the perks for black immigrants. You know, so those government resources, that government tax dollars, just sitting there waiting for us to capitalize off of.
Shit, man, that's crazy, man. Because my mom, I must something much, because my mom worked at the Ritz-Carlton for damn near 25, 30 years. I think when she stopped working there, she was probably making like $12 an hour, which was crazy to me. Taking care of 6 kids overseas, a whole family overseas. Well, I wonder why she didn't get some of that special treatment or something like that. Those extras. I wonder why she didn't qualify for those extras, because somehow all these Haitians were getting all these extras, this extra treatment better. I mean, all this extra shit, man. Where was this shit?
I even heard they were offering free massages to black immigrants too. So, all of these extras, they're out there. It's just, they're somebody's probably roadblocking us from getting these goodies.
You know what it was, dog? Like back in the day, you grew up. Did you grow up in Miami or you grew up here?
Miami.
Maybe they were chasing you guys to school. I mean, to and from school to give you guys those extra stuff, that extra stuff. Maybe the fact that you were running for your life, just to get home, you missed out. They were probably trying to give you these trinkets.
I got memories of being chased from school, but from what I could remember, I was beaten up to the ground, fucking Haitian African booty scratcher. That is a real personal experience.
Right. I mean,
that is a real experience.
Yeah, that was a real experience right there. Yeah, but no, I'm sorry to make a joke of it, man, but this is the experience that we went through. You know what I'm saying? All these different stereotypes and stuff like that, and then one of the biggest complaints of the ADOS people is, oh man, when you guys get over here, you guys act like you disassociate with us and blah blah blah. Why the fuck would I associate with someone that wants to annihilate me, talk shit about me, huh? What world does that make some fucking sense?
It feels like we're being sunned. You know how you sun somebody?
Right.
Like you make them your kid. It's
right.
Like you guys shouldn't advance yourself, but support our group. But your group says that black immigrants shouldn't get off their coattails. Somebody, no one's broken that down to me, like the goodies and the coattails, and we're profiting. Like we're, somebody needs to clarify that to me, because as far as I can remember, hey, I'm sorry, brother, you said your mom is an immigrant, Haitian immigrant, right?
Yeah.
Did she didn't pay taxes then, right? Then that's probably one of those goodies. Or she was tax exempt. Was your mom tax exempt?
No.
My mom wasn't tax exempt. So, but I don't know. We're still looking for these goodies because if you want us to support you, I find that for me to be cooning, I would be a super coon to support, or any black immigrant would be a super coon to support ADOS movement, which is anti-black immigrant, because we should not profit off the government or any other system that helps us. I don't know, but but shut up and support us while we attack you guys.
Yeah. Basically.
I don't know. That's
sit in the corner. Sit in the corner.
Yeah. No thanks.
Yeah, sit in the corner or whatever. I mean, this shit is crazy, man. It's literally baffling my mind about. I mean, it baffles me. I can't understand it, bro. I try to. I give people the benefit of the doubt, but every time I hear one of these videos and I hear all these things, they're white supremacist talking points. Basically, you know what I'm saying? Shithole country, go back to your country. I've never been told so many times to go back to my country. Where's my country at? I was born in America, but I guess I'm not ADOS. It's crazy, dog. I've never ever. I do Latinos do this?
I'm sorry, say that again, brother?
Do the group, like Latinos, do they do this? When they talk about, they're agenda or whatever, do they be like, well, the Nicaraguans are going to get this, and the Cubans are going to get this, and the Mexicans are going to get this? Do you ever hear that rhetoric?
The Latin people practice pan-Latinism. The Europeans practice pan-Europeanism. The Arabs practice pan-Arabism. Everyone practice group politics or group community grouping except for ADOS, because now they're no longer pan-Africanism. So that's going forward. It's going to be hard for me to see how it works, because I didn't see any white people say, or Latin people say, hey, you know what? We're going to adopt African Americans to be included into our group. So now, we're just going to group with them now. I haven't. So when you put yourself in a corner, man, you really do put yourself in a corner.
Yeah. It's crazy. What's going to happen if they don't get these reparations, man? Are they going to be able to come back?
Well, what?
When the white man eventually does what he's always did throughout history, remind them, like, you still a nigga.
Right.
Are they going to be able to come back?
I don't normally do this, but I'm going to help out African Americans. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you guys African. Yeah. If the ADOS group wants reparations, this is what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to, I guarantee you guys will get it by your third generation. Every last one of you guys are going to have to mix with white people. And when you guys are 100% white, when all the slave descendants are 100% white, I guarantee you guys will get your reparations. Okay. But until then, if you guys are as black as me, you ain't getting shit.
Right. But let me ask you a question. This is from a logic standpoint, right? Let's just say somebody owes you some money, right?
Okay.
And you find out, and you know that they're deep in debt. Let's just say $22 trillion in debt.
That's a lot of money.
Right. And you say they owe you probably the equivalent. But they tell you and they hint to you, you know what, man, if you do this, this, and this, we probably give you what we owe you, even though we're in the hole a shitload of money. What's the logic in that?
The first thing you should always do, because we got history, right? All you got to do is go back in history and see what happened to your ancestors in the past, right? There's something called Juneteenth. There were black people, when slavery ended, there were black people who continued to work as slaves only because they did not know that slavery ended. So you have to see who are the honest people. Like, do people carry out? Or even if you want to go back a little bit further than that, you're going to have to look at to the promise of the 40 acres and a mule. Or you're going to have to look at the treaties. Or you're going to have to look out, when was this promise ever kept to me and my people that was supposed to financially benefit us? And if it wasn't, then the answer's clear. But if it wasn't, promise wasn't ever made, and you still choose to go forward, everyone's a believer. Everyone's a believer.
Right. It almost makes me think this doesn't have anything to do with reparations. This just happens to be something, and it's an excuse to get closer and closer to whiteness. That's just my sentiment, because HBCUs, NAACP, all Negro College Fund, all these organizations were meant to be exclusive to black people. And what ends up happening every single time? Who created it is the slave owner, the oppressor. And is it ever meant for them to really reap benefits?
Brother, when I think about the ADOS movement, I'm literally seeing a lion take a nail filer and filing his own nails, and then going to the dentist to have his teeth removed, just so all the people could walk around him and prove that he's not violent or he's not harmful anymore. Because once a lion has declawed himself and defanged himself, he's not a lion. So when you remove the stigma of being African, I think that's just a form of, hey, you can accept me now. I'm less harmful to you, and I'm willing to do a little bit more of what you need done in exchange for a check. So that's what it looks like to me, brother.
So in modern day indentured servitude?
Well, we really can't say that because this is all voluntary.
Okay.
See, now if it was forced, I could understand that, but this is all voluntary. Out of all the history books I've read, I've never read a group of people who chose to go into slavery or reduce their status. Mm-hmm. I've never read that before, but man, first time's a charm. I mean, there's a first time for everything.
Yeah, man. And one other point, man, this tribalism thing. No, two things from that debate that I want to touch on. The fact that he was talking about that all these Africans and then very few white people, but didn't the slave plantations look like that? Didn't the slaves outnumber the masters 20-1? And they still was under the thumb of them. I mean, I didn't get that part, what point he was trying to make on that. And the other point was the tribalism thing. Isn't this whole thing rooted in tribalism?
As a matter of fact, it is. I mean, to identify yourself and segregate yourself from a group of people is a form of tribalism. So I'm going to attack you for what you're doing, and I'm going to do it myself against you. I'm going to attack you for claiming to be Haitian, and I'm going to separate myself so that you cannot attach your group to my group. So, I mean, it definitely is confusing. The logic behind it, there's no logic behind it. I'm not even going to say the logic behind it. There's no logic behind it. To become a tribe of yourself because you say that certain groups were a tribe themselves. Because, I mean, in order to prove that these people were tribes, I mean, you got to prove that, when you drop a documentary about their country, for them to go against you for doing that, for claiming tribalism. But maybe they did. Maybe they sent him emails and, he just doesn't want to share it with us. But obviously, they claimed that tribalism was practiced against them before they practiced it against everyone else.
Man, and shout out to everybody out there, man. Especially, man. We love you, bro. It's we can have a discussion, man, about this, man. It doesn't have to be, contentious. It can just be, a disagreement. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to cancel you for a disagreement, man. I mean, I can't cancel. My wife is Black American, so her family's Black American. So that means my son will be, I guess, ADOS, depending on if they're going to change the definition. It's changing every day.
Well, you could be ADOS in law. You by marriage.
I can't wait to these niggas get together, right? And then next thing you know, they start segmenting each other. You know, when the ADOS, they'll be like, well, they're going to have like a brown paper bag. Hold on, did we already have this before? The brown paper bag?
Yes,
oh, shit.
Yes, it already existed.
Oh, shit. The ADOS. Oh, shit. The boule? I forgot about that. So this makes sense now. This is a segmentation of the bourgeoisie, right?
Yes, actually it is. I mean, it's the same thing that was done to Africa. Those lines that we see separating the countries do not exist. That's only on a map. They do not exist. They physically aren't there in Africa.
That's colonialism. That's colonialism.
That is colonialism.
You can't have it both ways. You know what I'm saying? We always knew that Africa was a whole bunch of tribes. But if you look at the map, you look at it through the reflection of the European oppressor, that is colonialism right there. There's no such thing as Nigeria. It was called Ethiopia. The whole continent was called
It was all called Ethiopia. Yes.
Why do we have to explain this to these dum-dums?
Well, first of all, Christopher Columbus discovered America.
Okay.
And when you start accepting doctrines like that from your one source, then everything from that source has to be correct. You know, so now they said it's true. And Coulter said that the Democrats are rejecting throwing the Democrats away. So if she said it, we have to vote Republican. And we have to get used to seeing black folks in MAGA hats.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that. So, you know, it is what it is, man. These people, you drink from the Kool-Aid, you drink from the fountain once, and you come back, you know, you're a fountainhead.
Yeah.
So,
but these motherfuckers be so goddamn slick. They'll be like, oh yeah, the Democrats, you know, they were the slave party. You know, the Democrat, you know, there's the Republicans that are into slavery. But they don't tell you that the old Democratic Party is now the new Republican Party.
That's correct. That's correct. Now, there's a saying, I don't know if it's true or not. There's a saying that LBJ, the President LBJ, once said when he was signing a certain law, I forgot what it was, but they will have black folks voting Democrat for the next 50 years. So I apologize for not having all the correct information on that, right. But it's a statement that supposedly was quoted by the President LBJ when he was signing the Civil Rights Movement.
Man, we got so much, like we got so much to talk about, man. But I appreciate you, man, coming on the show, man, because, man, much love, man. And for the trolls out there that are offended by our discussion, you know what I'm saying?
Smile, bitch! Smile, bitch! Come on!
Keep
Just
trolling.
smile, bitch. I'm not going to go.
I ain't going back and forth with these niggas.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, like I said, a hit dog will holla. You know, shout out to Andrew Gillum for making that famous. I love that quote. But a hit dog will holla. You know what I'm saying?
If you believe in America, you also believe in freedom of speech.
Right.
So, but I don't know, when you attack someone's freedom to say something, you know, that says a lot about you. You know, if you don't want people to voice their opinions on something, because we're American citizens.
Right.
We're American citizens. We have a right to speak on America.
Whoa,
my
no, you're Haitian. You're Haitian. You're Haitian. You're Haitian.
When your ancestors were being oppressed, mine was too.
Yeah.
Yes, we got our country in 1804, but guess what? There was a lot of economic struggle ever since then.
Right. But haven't Haitians have been coming over here for centuries?
Yeah, since the 1700s. Here we go, right? So now if the Haitian Revolution never happened, France would still own a major part of America, and it would be hard. Slavery would have ended a lot later than it did. But you know what? When it comes to ADOS, the history doesn't matter.
No.
The history does not matter when it comes to ADOS. What your ancestors did ain't important because you ain't ADOS.
Didn't Haitians fight? Didn't Haitians fight in New Orleans, Savannah, and a whole bunch of
Savannah, Georgia? Only in exchange for black slaves to be freed here in America that they fought. And no, they didn't come here at the behest of the French army or the French government. They were free men. Free men came to fight to see if they could liberate African American slaves here on American soil. Free men.
Yeah. At that time, I could be wrong. Wasn't Haiti the only country in the world that did not allow slavery on its borders?
Well, a little bit of a correction, because when these free men came to fight, this was around 1779.
Right.
So they had a war ahead of them to fight to even free. Before they even fought to free their own country, they came to American soil to free African American slaves.
Right.
And that was in 1804 when finally Haiti received its independence. And that Haitian Revolution wasn't fought in one day, one year. It was a long battle. So, yes.
But there's some revisionist history going on, because they're not talking about all the free slaves that fled to Haiti that were offered, huh?
Yes, no, yeah. Right. Haiti opened its border to all enslaved black people.
All enslaved, anybody that was running from oppression. We have pockets of Polish, Jews, all Japanese in Haiti to this day. A lot of people don't talk about that. But a lot of people tend to forget about that. That, that little stain right there, that a lot of African slaves that were able to... How do you think black people ended up in... some black people ended up in Bahamas, which, if you're Bahamas, you know what, and you're black or African descent, guess what you are a citizen of? Guess where your citizenship is? Haiti.
Citizen. I'm sorry?
You can be born in the Bahamas, but if any of your ancestry come from Haiti, guess what citizen you are?
You're Haitian.
So you mean to tell me all those people that are, that we know that came from the United States in Bahamas are they DOS? Huh?
That's a good question. We know this. You know what this raises? This raises a question, whereas if history is only important to ADOS, it's not important to anybody else, because if we bring up history and we showed how Haiti was instrumental in what it did, even to ADOS advantage, that's irrelevant. The only history that is relevant to ADOS is their ancestors. And because a lot of these ADOS supporters aren't even historians. They have no idea of what the black world around them did to affect their lives.
Oh, they have no idea.
That's very unfortunate. That's very unfortunate.
I mean, there's a lot of dirty secrets that the ADOS are going to have to face. I'll give you another example. The song Buffalo Soldier by Bob Marley. The fuck you think he was talking about if you listen to the goddamn words? Huh? You heard that song before, right?
Yes. I remember the song. Yes.
Hey, ADOS people, what is a Buffalo Soldier? Where did he come from where did he come to fight? I'm just asking you that question.
ADOS?
No. I'm talking, he came from Jamaica.
No, you're asking ADOS.
Yeah, I'm asking ADOS people. You know, they talk about the Caribbean people ain't never fought anything. You know, they use the Memorial Day thing where they fought in every battle. They're the only ones that fought in every battle in America and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That, people from the Caribbean didn't fight at all.
I'm sorry, that was a hell of a job white people did on ADOS. For you to bring them here as slaves, have them fight in all your wars, and at the end of the day, them call themselves American, and put your flag, they put your flag on their shoulders. Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
This is not anti-anything. I'm not anti-black. I mean, this is the truth. This is the truth right here. It's documented history. You know what I'm saying?
We love our black families worldwide.
Exactly, man. But this is not a lie. We're not trying to bamboozle you. This is history right here. Not his story. This is history. Shout out to the ADOS movement, man. Hey, ignorance is bliss, bruh. Man, any parting shots, man, before we get off this podcast?
I would like to say is, if you're doing something based on how you feel and there is no logic to it, do your research. Do your research, because when you find out, especially black history in this part of the world, just do your research. Just go back to the 1600s and find out information about black folks. And also do research on what's happening around black folks worldwide today. Black folks are still getting shot at. They're still suffering. There's black folks who don't even have civil rights. There's black folks who don't have any rights today. There's black folks in Libya right now who are slaves in Libya.
Yeah.
Slaves, right? There's a slave trade in Libya today. So,
there is slaves in America today. You know who they are? They're political prisoners.
Yes.
Slaves right now. And guess what? You niggas ain't doing nothing about it. You skinning and grinning. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Are those political prisoners, are they ADOS? They got to be black immigrants, because ADOS ain't doing nothing about it.
Exactly.
They got to be black immigrants. They have to be black immigrants. Somehow, some way down their lineage, somehow they probably came from Africa. They black immigrants.
And y'all and you know what I'm saying? You ADOS motherfuckers, you know, and I'm segmenting it. This is not all black Americans, but whoever got the mindset. Y'all let Kim Kardashian go into the White House, and y'all sitting on your damn hands, and you're doing all this fussing and cooning and all that type shit, and let her free one slave. She has done more for slavery than a lot of you talking heads.
Right. There's a lot of oppression going on, a lot of places. We can't be ignorant about something when we do it. We can't be ignorant about anything. So, just research everything you think you know. You can't be mad about something if you don't even understand it.
Yeah. Well, I'm understanding it now. It's becoming more clear to me that I believe it's rooted in the white person. The fact that when they're going into a doctor's office now, they're going into engineering firms now, and those last names are traditionally African or French. Some of the slave names are not being. It's not Dr. Slave Owner anymore. Not Dr. Williams. Right. Not Dr. Jones. It's Dr. Mufumbu or one of those things. And I think that scares the shit out of the white public. And you know what? Immigration is the big problem. Not in particular immigrate. They're not too scared of Pedro and Jose and all them. It's those Mufumbus and those John Baptiste guys that can speak French and they can speak English, and they outperform you on the SATs, and they outperform you in grade point average. And you know what? Before they even step in, to the workplace, dog, they got years of tangible experience in their particular field. And I think that scares the shit out of people. What do you think?
I definitely agree with that. When you see a group of people who are coming, because let's be honest, people do not immigrate to different countries, become immigrants, leave their homeland, their native land, their native tongue. They don't leave their country to be a bottom bitch. This is not okay. Let me go. Where's the bottom? Excuse me, sir. Can you help me find the bottom? I'm new to this country. People don't do that. America, as advertised from outside of America, is the land of freedom and opportunity. And black people don't come here to be white allies against black Americans. That's insane. Black people come here for opportunity. Maybe they don't understand things as clear as African Americans do. And you know what? As your job here in this country, you should educate them on that. There should be African American learning centers for simply Africans or black immigrants. There should be. This system should exist. But black people cannot learn, black immigrants cannot learn what happened to you by reading. We don't even read minds, so we can't learn it. You're going to have to show it to me. You're going to have to express it to me, because people don't leave their country to go learn another country's history. That's just not going to happen. So, it is the responsibility of those who are here to educate those who come here. I'm not against that at all, but when you don't do that, you can't blame them for not doing what you think they should do.
True that, man. But anyways, man, thank again, man. I know I was supposed to get off a little bit earlier, man, but it's been a pleasure talking. We got to collaborate one more time, or a couple more times, man, on this podcast, man. You know, great discussion, man.
Definitely, and it was a pleasure, and I think moving forward in this ADOS society, Haitian Americans need to unite and get a better understanding in where this world we live in today here in America.
Yeah,
and,
we definitely
and how to move forward.
Yeah, because some of the rhetoric that's being spewed is very dangerous, man. I got a family, I got myself, I got to protect, and you know, a lot of these guys that are spreading some of this misinformation that's causing this anti-black immigrant dissension can get real in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, we got to watch we got to stick together. You know, just like the '80s. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that.
Right. Yeah, because they could have fanatics in their movements, and you know, and when you accuse black people of stealing your resources, they could really take that seriously. They really do believe that if you have a fanatic, you know, and now you just because black people don't care. Black people will attack other black people. You know, but be careful. We have a nation that will advocate for us. So, in Haitians, we don't protest. We burn tires with people in tires. So, you know, not trying to start anything between our black brothers and sisters, but you know, let's just be careful on the rhetoric.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyways, man, enjoy the rest of your day, homeboy.
Thank you, brother. You do the same, and we'll have many more conversations and discussions.
No doubt.
Appreciate it.
All right, man.
All right.
Easy.
Peace.
Hey, man, make sure you guys go and subscribe to Soul Traveler on YouTube, man. You know, get his likes and his streams up. Look up Johnson Marseille on YouTube. Find me on Facebook also, man. No Cupcake Zone Podcast. You already know what it is, man. Holla at your boy.